Hey guys, what's up? This is Trunks coming at you guys with another war recap for the Archer Outlaws. We went up against Ninjas in real life, and as you can see, they just barely inched out the victory on us, 42 to 41 as far as stars go, 95.07 total destruction to their 93.73. As you can see on their side, the Town Hall breakdown was 1 Town Hall 11, 1 Town Hall 10 for each side, and the rest were Town Hall 9s in the 15 versus 15. They were able to 2-star our top 2 bases and then basically take care of all the 9s except for 1. On their side, we were able to get 1 star on their Town Hall 11, triple their Town Hall 10, and then basically we took care of all their 9s except for 2, which was the deciding factor in this war. But we'll go ahead and take a look at the first replay. It's going to be coming from Max. He's coming with the Gobo La Lune. I'm going to have a how-to video coming out on this strategy here soon. But here is a replay for it to give you a little teaser. He's going to start off with 2 golems, then sends down a test wall breaker to check for any outside traps. And then he's going to send in 2 more wall breakers to get that outside wall open. He then gets the Barb King, Queen, and the CC bowlers down behind those golems as they're out front tanking. Clan Castle comes out and he gets a poison down on the Clan Castle, and then gets a rage down, so that way the Queen and any wizards that are working or have come into the core will work on taking out that Clan Castle. Gets a jump down on the core of the base to give him access pretty much to the Tesla farm and then the air defenses that are down in the core of the base, as well as access to that Queen. Archer Queen jumps over the wall and then steps up and starts working on that Expo. He gets a poison down to take care of the skeleton trap and the enemy Archer Queen to slow her down, and the Barb King to give his troops a little bit more time so that way they're not taking as much damage. Archer Queen steps up and then takes out the enemy Archer Queen, and then she basically just works in the core of the base to get down a few extra buildings. Eventually, she's working on that Barb King, but leaves him up with a little bit of help as that Expo is working on her. And then he basically starts the Laloon portion, sending in his first hound from 3 o'clock, second one from 5 o'clock, so that way they are soaking up as many traps as possible on their journey to that first air defense. And then he trails in some loons behind those to that air defense and then gets down a rage, so that way they get into it sooner. And that lava hound that lives at that core, going to that first air one, gets up to that second air defense and pops just right there. The pups are able to tank long enough so that way he's able to trail in some loons and get them to that air defense before it can take them out. They all then converge onto the last portion of this base, and he's able to pretty much overpower this last section of the base. He gets the pups cleaning up, but overall it was a solid 3-star. And like I said, I'm going to have a strategy guide for this strategy, so just stay tuned to that, and I'll have it out soon. Next up, we're going to take a look at yours truly coming in, Trunks with my Town Hall 9. Coming in with the Mass Baby Dragon strategy. Start off with a Queen charge up at the top 4 healers, and then Baby Dragons on the side to go ahead and create the funnel. Send down a test wall breaker to check to get those outside bombs out of the way, and make sure that they are not going to be able to mess up the wall breaker, so the Queen will walk into the core of the base. Quadquake on the core of the base to open up access to the Queen and 3 of those air defenses. The nice thing about the Baby Dragons on this is they have the built-in rage ability, so when you attempt this attack, you can devote all of your spells to your Archer Queen while she is charging into that base. But we'll fast forward a little bit. Just as she's walking, get a rage down to take out that Clan Castle and pop the ability. Archer Queen gets just almost out, but the rage is able to keep her long enough. Gets a second rage down as he works through the core to help speed her up a little bit and get through that Expo and the Archer Tower as they are locking onto her. Enemy Archer Queen steps up. That rage is still keeping the Archer Queen up. Gets a Baby Dragon down at the bottom to go ahead and start a funnel for the backside, and then gets a Golem down on that tank with the Barb King and CC bowlers behind to target the backside air defense that the Queen will not be able to make it to. Then up at the top, basically just start trailing in some Baby Dragons to these areas, so that way the cleanup process will basically begin, and starting to hit areas where the air defenses cannot target the baby dragons. Queen is still working in the core of the base, but at this point, most of the heavy point defense is down, so she is able to just slowly work through the core of this base. Barb King and Bowlers are still working down at the bottom. Barb King popped the ability and then gets him into that last air defense. Golem steps up and does a little bit of tanking, and at this point just starts trailing in the remaining baby dragons, so that way they can work around the base with a rage in hand for now for the final cleanup of the base. But we'll go ahead and times for this one, as this base is pretty much done, as the bowlers at the top begin to start working, taking out everything, and then the final baby dragon comes in at the bottom to get that last Tesla out of the way, and then steps up with the Archer Queen and takes out the final Expo. Next up, we're going to have ATO coming in on this base. He's coming in with the Golem Avalanche. Gets down 2 golems to go ahead with some funneling wizards up at the top. Then drops some more funneling wizards down at the bottom and gets that Archer Queen right down, right in the middle behind her. Sends in the wall breakers on the corner. He's got the golem down tanking that wizard tower, so the wall breakers are able to sneak right in there and open up that portion of the base. The golems then redirect right into the core of the base. Has 2 poisons down to take care of the clan castle, and then gets a rage down so the queen can work through the remaining clan castle with those wizards in the core. They're able to just basically walk now down through the little chute of this base. The queen and sits in the back and is able to take out the remaining buildings that are in that area, sends in a few hogs to get that wizard tower that's remaining, and then basically brings in another golem, Barb King, and then bowlers down at the bottom. Gets a jump down to allow the golem to get into the core of the base and continue tanking as the queen is working. Tesla gets locked onto the queen, so he pops the ability as she is still working in an attempt to get these bowlers and the golem that are working down at the bottom up to her, but she's just not able to make it with that Tesla on her. She goes down, but that's okay because he's got 2 wizards still stepping up and a golem tanking in the core. He then brings in a 4th golem down at the bottom with more wizards. The bowlers meet up with the 4th golem, and the remaining group just begins to walk through the remainder of this base. As they converge, gets a jump down, giving them access to the remaining defenses and both of the heroes on this base. Has a golem still out front tanking, has the Barb King working, and then a group of bowlers and wizards working on the backside behind that as they push into this final portion of the base. We'll go ahead and speed this one up a little bit. Pops the Barb King ability after the queen goes down. The bowlers finish taking out the last few remaining defenses, and then at that point he drops the final wizards just for the cleanup to go ahead. But solid 3-star ATO. And the last one we are going to look at is going to be from Bugsy. He's going to come in with the Shattered Go Hobo, starting off with 2 golems up at the top to create that funnel. Gets wizards down behind that to take out the trash that are on the outside, and then just drops that queen down right in the middle behind. He sends in the test wall breaker once again to check for any traps, and then gets the remaining wall breakers in. Once he knows, at this point you can see he's got a massive funnel already created. He gets that Barb King down, and then gets the bowlers down behind them. Clan Castle comes out, gets a poison down for both of those, and then gets a jump down into the core, leading over to that enemy Archer Queen. Gets a rage down, so that way the bowlers start to wreck a lot of the external buildings, and then the queen steps up and is able to take out the enemy clan castle and finish it off underneath that rage. Then everybody jumps into the core of the base as that queen is working there, and the bowlers begin to start working on that queen. Sends in a few hogs from the top to start working on those outside buildings that are trailing at the top. Eventually the queen steps up and takes out the mini Archer Queen. He's got a Golemite still tanking, and then so he just begins trailing in hogs to this bottom portion of the base. Gets a heal down since he has 2 of them, where that Expo, Tesla, and the 2 Arch Towers are, since there's a high amount of point defense there. He sends in a few more hogs. He's got 10 still in the bag, but then starts just trailing the remainder in. Gets a second heal down on the final portion of the Tesla farm and the Wizard Tower, so that way the hogs are able to work through the remainder of the base. And at this point, he just starts sending in his remaining hogs to take out these final defenses. He's got a wizard working on the bottom side for the cleanup. Pops the queen ability in the core of the base, so that way she's able to get through the final buildings quicker. But then his hogs are basically working back towards his cleanup that he has down at 6 o'clock. Pretty much just demolishes this base though. Overall solid attack, well planned. But that's going to be it for this war recap. If you guys have any questions or comments, go ahead and feel free to leave them in the bottom. If you guys want to check out Archer Outlaws, I believe I left the information up in the beginning of this for you guys. But until next time, this is Trunks signing out.